Hello, I'm Feyzi Akkaya. The story I'm going to tell you concerns our business partnership and our friendship. And since Sezai prefers not to write, I had to put pen to paper. The film you're about to see is black and white, just like the lives of civil engineers. It's a collection of old memories and old photographs. Characters, workers in their overalls, shaved and unshaven engineers. The setting, power plants, quarries, tunnels, roads, bridges, docks. Time, the first years of the Turkish Republic. There's this leaflet that I still keep. It says, "Experience the friendly atmosphere of our school. We not only offer accommodation and a meal, but also a new set of clothing every year. There's plenty of nutritious food prepared by our experienced kitchen staff. Graduates of the school will be paid 84 Turkish lira per month and get a well-groomed horse, along with a stable hand and payment for fodder. And an important notice, the finest drinking water is provided at our school." Two graduate civil engineers, fresh out of Istanbul Technical University. Sezai and I. Straight after we got our diplomas, we began our careers in the Ministry of Public Works. He went to one end of the country, I went to the other. Our final exam was on reinforced concrete bridges. 3 years later, I know it sounds like a twist of fate, but we found ourselves together again, now building reinforced concrete bridges. This reunion took place in Saferha, a construction company, in 1937. Sezai came from Ara and joined us in Erzincan. How happy I was. A life led in tents in a construction yard. Nights lit by sailors' torches and gas lamps. Constraints and difficulties. I knew for sure then that our friendship that started in 1926 would go on as a steady and unconditional partnership. Building kilometres of roads using mallets, sledgehammers, shovels and pickaxes was not easy. Providing the necessary hardware was another obstacle we had to overcome. When there was work to be done, Sezai would begin to stare at the wall until inspiration struck. I, on the other hand, I'd devote myself to project drawings. We seldom spoke, but we well understood each other's plans. Sezai was a great innovator in Turkish civil engineering. Those were the days. Bridges, rail applications, harbours. All these gained us great experience, not easily gained though. When we won our first offshore drilling contract in Çanakkale, the basics of ground analysis were not commonly known, so I wrote my book, The Handbook for the Driller, at that time. We then created the design that was to increase the speed of deep water drilling. This was our first innovation to be patented. Of course, there were days when we were broke. We argued a lot, but we never fell out. Sezai was great at developing cost-efficient methods. And our business grew due to his talent. A 154 kilovolt power transmission line and telephone network were among the other works we completed in the 1950s. Then came the 60s. We built the first submarine dock in Turkey, along with the Bartın harbour. the Ereğli Steel Production Plant Harbour, the first use of tetrapods, the NATO Dörtyol oil terminal, all of which have a unique story of their own. Meanwhile, political turmoil and crises played themselves out. We went on with our work. The early 70s. For the Kadincik Dam project, Sezai insisted that we did not use explosives, but use drilling instead. But at that point, no such technology existed in Turkey. So he travelled around the world, returning from Tasmania with a drilling machine we knew as the Mole. But when we realised it wouldn't work, we started to build our own equipment. One such was the 1,200-ton capacity crane that we set up for the Tripoli harbour. This was covered in the press, even in Europe. When we began work on the project in Libya, no single Turkish company had previously won a foreign contract, and later work we did in Libya was to become one of our milestones. As we were running our projects in Turkey, assignments from Libya came flooding in. Having grown to include 12 PLCs, we established a holding company. It was 1975, and right after that we got our first job from the United Arab Emirates, power transmission lines. And then came the construction of the Muna tunnels in Saudi Arabia. And now Egypt, Iran, Tunisia, we're on the move. We designed and produced a 3,200-ton capacity crane for the Gabes harbour. And it later occurred to us, not only were we the first Turkish company in Tunisia, but we'd also designed the most powerful crane the world had ever seen. Sezai's dream was to be able to deal with any and every country in the world. I started the Temel Eğitim Foundation. Meanwhile, Sezai was contemplating a project to institutionalize STFA and do all the planning for the future. He decided to found the İnanç Vakfı in 1989. The foundation would provide an education to gifted children who might not otherwise receive the education their talents deserve. A bridge to the future. There were these loyal and talented people who would gladly join us on our projects wherever we went. Their children joined us too. Now, probably their grandchildren have also joined STFA. Now they carry the flag alongside the responsibilities that come with it. The remainder of this story will be told by the young STFA employees. Now they're realising the projects that we dreamed of but couldn't complete in our lifetime. Like the Gulf of Izmit Bridge project that Sezai drew up in 1978. Qatar, Oman, Saudi Arabia. From here, they all look beautiful. Who would have known the joy of being in a construction yard? We love it.